Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to a special draft podcast with my friend Marshall, he's the NFL expert. Anytime that I want to talk about football, I hit this guy up and say, "Hey, you want to talk some football?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." What's up, Marshall?
What's up, dude? Thank you for having me on again. It's been about almost a year since the last time we collaborated.
Yeah,
Uh,
seems like the perfect time, don't it?
if you can't tell, the room looks a little bit different. This went from being my game room to my nursery.
Yeah, dude. Did y'all? I didn't even. Y'all have a baby, or she's y'all
No,
expecting?
July 2nd is the due date.
Okay, I knew that I hadn't seen any pictures of a baby or anything.
No, we're expecting in July. So I got kicked out of the game room and forced to go back to the living room.
Right, and that's you can see my room. This is not expecting over here on this side. So let's jump right into the draft stuff. What do you want to start with first?
Let's start with uh, the biggest storyline that came from the draft
You think
was
Justin
that
Fields?
was the fact that Aaron Rodgers demanded the
Oh,
trade.
yeah.
So, with that being said, I would expected the Packers to, attempt to appease him in some sort of fashion,
Hmm.
whether that be drafting offensive playmakers, drafting a lineman to protect him, something that was going to help the offense to kind of appease Aaron.
Right.
But
To
as
take
we get into my draft grades, that's
right.
not going to happen. The other big storyline was, dude, this was probably the safest draft ever done. Like I've only have really two reaches on my first round. Like everybody that was drafted in the first round belonged either in the first or early second.
Right.
But there was a couple guys that fell. The Browns lucked out. We'll get into that later. But
Hmm.
the quarterback group for this one, if you wanted a quarterback, this was the year to go get them because next year we're looking at Sam Howell from North Carolina and Spencer Rattler from Oklahoma, which remains to be seen. Spencer could just come out and just blow Baker and Kyler's numbers out of the water. Sam Howell could come in and put up Trevor Lawrence numbers, but there's really only two. If anybody else comes out, it's going to be a dude with really only 1 year of good production. So you have four guys here that everybody deemed were first round quarterbacks and would have been, a top pick in last year's draft and in next year's draft. So if you wanted a quarterback, now is your time to get one. And the first three went right off the bat, and then I think Mac Jones is the last one picked at 15. So top 15, four quarterbacks went, which is the last time I remember this happening was in 2000. I want to say 2011. Was that the Cam Newton draft?
I
Was
don't
Cam
remember.
Newton? I think it was Cam Newton, Blaine Gabbert, EJ Manuel from Florida State, Christian Ponder, and Jake Locker. I think there was five taken in the first round, and the only one that panned out was Cam.
Hmm.
So I mean, there's a chance. I mean, I could totally see that happening here with the amount of quarterbacks that went, but there's just a lot of talent, and I like three quarterbacks of the five that were drafted. So uh,
Which ones you don't like?
I do not like Zach Wilson. I think he's Sam Darnold 2.0.
Oh,
I do not
and
like Mac Jones. And
yeah,
the
okay.
reason why I don't like Mac Jones is one of the reasons why I like Justin Fields. And this is extremely hot take. So if you don't like it, you can cut it out. I got dragged through the social media over it.
Okay. Well,
If
hey,
just
hot takes are staying in no matter what.
Hey, if Justin Fields was white, he would be right up there with Trevor Lawrence in consideration for the number one overall pick.
Oh yeah, I remember seeing that.
So, and I got dragged through the mud on it, and they're like calling me a white savior. No, it's not what it is. Justin Fields is amazing. He's got 4.4 speed, put the ball anywhere you want it. Like, your only knock on the kid was his character concerns stemming from a transfer from Georgia to Ohio State. Well, if I'm a young quarterback coming in and I want weapons, I'm going to Ohio State. Do you see how many skill guys they had drafted? Do you see how many linemen they had drafted compared to Georgia? Georgia's first player wasn't picked, and it was a corner. And their second player picked was a defensive end. I mean, you want to play and put up good numbers, Go play at Ohio State instead of Georgia. I don't mind that he decided to move. But what really upset me was people were saying, Mac Jones is better, Mac Jones this, Mac Jones is that. Mac Jones' character never got called into question, even though he has 2 DUIs. Now, I don't know if you've been following any of the NFL offseason storylines, but DUIs are a big topic because Andy Reid's son, who was a coach on the Chiefs, killed that. I want to say it was a young girl, uh, in a hit and run DUI.
Oh my gosh, I did not hear that.
So the fact that this dude, Mac Jones, everyone's like, hey, this dude's squeaky clean, Captain America comparisons. They're comparing his combine to Tom Brady's because, they look similar in terms of bodybuilding.
Right, that's not a compliment.
Well, it's not, but it's positive. It's a positive comparison.
Yeah, I guess so. Not
But when,
for the combine, that's one thing, but like intellect, I don't know.
yeah, I mean, I don't see it, but the fact of the matter is Justin Fields went into this season as the number 2 quarterback lock. Played through the entire season, had one of the greatest games of his life against Clemson with their vaunted defense, and put up 6 touchdowns, threw a pick. Dude absolutely balled out, played hurt half the season. And now, as soon as we start getting to where we're nitpicking guys, he falls down to the number 4. Some people even have number 5 quarterback.
Right.
It's crazy to me. Now,
well, we got vindicated though because they didn't get picked until after Justin Fields, 15, right?
Yes, but I legitimately thought San Fran was taking Mac because I just knew it, and I honestly thought Atlanta was going to take a quarterback as well. So that threw my entire mock out when they did that. But the quarterback with the most upside is Trey Lance. Trevor Lawrence, I liken him to a John Elway type of player. Got a little bit of pocket mobility, but has a pretty good arm. And then I liken Justin Fields to Randall Cunningham. He's a back in the throwback kind of a scrambler kind of guy, but could stay in the pocket, make all the throws you ever wanted.
Right.
Like I said, I think Zach Wilson's Sam Darnold 2.0. And then Mac Jones, he's a small Joe Flacco to me. That's how he plays. He's a game manager. He doesn't take a whole lot of risk. Now, the only quarterback comparison I don't have is for Trey Lance.
Except Joe Flacco's got an arm, though, right?
Yeah, well, Mac's got a decent arm, too.
You think so? I've only heard that. He's good in short throws, not so much tight windows, but he's good at reading the defense. I haven't heard much about him throwing it down the field, but I know Joe Flacco has a cannon of an arm.
Well,
right?
Joe Flacco can make a 100-yard throw. That's no one's going to have that. What I'm talking about is his mechanics are similar. Well, the build, Joe Flacco's like 6'6".
Yeah, I don't know. Mac's not that tall, right?
No. But what I'm talking about is game manager type of player, someone who isn't going to force the ball into tight pockets, tight windows. He's going to make the right play majority of the time. He's going to check down. He's going to use his running game. He's going to have a running game to succeed. So that's the thing with Mac. But the only we've never seen anybody like Trey Lance. I don't know if you ever got a chance to go and check his stats, but the dude never threw a pick at North Dakota State University. He had 26 passing touchdowns and 20 rushing touchdowns or something crazy like that. Like he had 3,500 yards passing and 1,000 yards rushing. And it was, his stat line was just stupid. Of course, he's from an FBS school, which is a football series school, so the competition isn't great, but still.
Did he have how many games did he play? Was he the only 1 year guy?
1 year starter, and then COVID took out.
That's right.
COVID took out the 2020 season for him.
So I knew that there was some concerns about not seeing him a whole lot, as far as he didn't play multiple seasons he didn't get to see a lot of them,
Well, same could be said as Mac Jones. He only played 1 year.
Yeah.
He played 1 year because he sat behind Tua and Jalen.
Yep, true. So give us your grades then on the quarterbacks here.
Uh,
What you think?
well, I'll just go through the first round and we'll get that
Okay.
over and out of the way.
All right. Pick number
So
one.
the Jaguars took Trevor Lawrence, quarterback from Clemson. They give him an A minus. Only reason they give him an A minus is because we all knew that's what was going to happen. Uh, the dude is the best quarterback prospect to come out since Andrew Luck in 2012. He's cerebral. He can read the field. He can make all the throws. He's played in the big game. He won the championship as a freshman. I mean, the dude is as rock steady and solid as they come. At number two, New York Jets take Zach Wilson, a quarterback from Brigham Young University, BYU. I'm not a fan of Zach Wilson. I never was a fan of Zach Wilson. Even going back to you go look at his 2019 tape when he was a freshman, and the dude had extremely inaccurate issues. Now, I understand Brigham Young, you're not going to have like the most outstanding um, weapons or offensive line to be able to help, but if you have a receiver run the slant across the middle and you throw the ball 5 yards in front of him or 5 yards behind him, that's an issue for me. Doesn't mean he can't fix that. Josh Allen had the same inaccuracy issues coming out of Wyoming, and now he's a MVP candidate every year. So accuracy issues can be fixed, but if you're the number 2 pick, that shouldn't be a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I give the Jets a C minus. San Francisco 49ers, Trey Lance, quarterback from North Dakota State. He was my favorite quarterback in the draft, mainly because I couldn't compare him to anybody. Like, he's the kind of guy that you would have to like Frankenstein. You're going to have to go in and be like, hey, I'm going to take Mike Vick's scrambling ability, maybe decrease the speed a little bit, 4.4, 4.5, and then I'm going to go put on Russell Wilson's arm. I mean, you just had to piece and match him to kind of come together with what kind of quarterback he is because we haven't seen it.
Mm-hmm.
And he has room, like he's a younger guy. He has room to put on weight. So if he puts on some weight and still keeps us, a sub 4.5, 4.4 speed, I mean, he could be what Cam Newton could have been if Cam was smaller in terms of running the ball. Because, I mean, Cam running the ball, yes, I think he has the most rushing yards by a quarterback in NFL history or rushing touchdowns. Lamar Jackson's going to beat that. But
right.
if Cam was smaller, I mean, a little bit smaller, he would have had even more yards. And Trey Lance has that ability. He could probably bulk up to 230, 240 and still maintain that speed. And if he does that, it's going to help him with his durability. But the thing with San Francisco is this is why I like the pick. I gave it a B+. San Francisco's not going to pick this high again for a while. They're too talented on offense. They're too talented on defense. Trey Lance is going to need a year or two to sit back, learn how to read NFL defenses, learn how to be a pro. You have Jimmy Garoppolo signed for 2 years. Unless you trade him outright, you're going to end up paying most of that money out anyway. Might as well roll the dice, see if Jimmy G recovers that magic, sell high on him later, or suffer through another year of mediocrity, 8-8, 9-7, or it'd be 9-8 now, 17-game season, and 10-7, which I could see them doing. They're talented enough. Trey Lance probably goes to the best quarterback situation outside of Atlanta. I would have rather seen him go to Atlanta, but San Fran's not going to pick this high again. They take their guy, and honestly, San Francisco is probably going to be a wild card playoff team again, whether Trey Lance takes the field or not. So
yeah, they were hurt team last year, right?
Everybody was hurt, man. COVID screwed everybody over.
Cowboys hurt team.
Well, especially our 2 teams.
Mm-hmm.
So at number 4, Atlanta Falcons, Kyle Pitts.
And this is sad for me.
D.
You don't like Kyle Pitts?
No, it's not because of the player. I think Kyle Pitts is freaking amazing.
You want them to take quarterback, huh?
Again, same way with the 49ers. You are not going to pick this high again for a while.
You think so? The Falcons?
They're not, dude. I mean, they're offensively, you add in Kyle Pitts.
Do you think they're
So
trading Julio though?
no, if they were going to trade Julio,
Been on
if
draft
they were going
night?
to trade Julio, it should have been before the draft. But
Mm,
they don't have the financial capability to trade Julio until June.
yeah.
So at that point, if you trade Julio, you're going to have to take a flyer on a 2022 draft pick. And I promise you, whatever team Julio goes to, they're not picking high.
All right.
So you're wasting a pick. You might as well keep them.
Why were they so bad last year?
Injuries, man, injuries,
Did their
and the
did
fact
did Matt Ryan get hurt last year?
no, they didn't have a running game. Todd
Uh,
Gurley never, really got off. Julio was hurt most of the year. Calvin Ridley was hurt most of the year. They're running with
mm,
third, fourth receivers in their starting group. Their
okay.
defense got decimated. Their defensive line just couldn't get any kind of pass rush. So, but I mean, they're going to come back next year. They're going to be fully healthy. Honestly, Atlanta's probably going to win their division. I don't see Carolina, you know, overcoming that. I take that back. They're going to come in second in their division. I forgot the Buccaneers are in their division. They're going to come in second in their division. They're probably going to be a 10-7, 11-6 team. They're going to
Right.
get trounced in the first round. But I mean, you got to think an offense with Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, who's arguably one of the best young receivers in the NFL. You have Hayden Hurst as your true blocking tight end, and then you have Kyle Pitts. So Kyle Pitts is Vernon Davis in today's NFL. Vernon Davis came in the league where tight ends were like Jason Witten. They blocked, they caught the ball, and they weren't really known as, you know, superstar athletes. I mean, Jason Witten, 3rd and 10, where's that ball going? It's going to Witten, but where's Witten sitting down? He's sitting down at 10 yards. He's going to get open. He's going to get the first down. That's it. Kyle Pitts can from that tight end position, can take a seam, catch a ball, and outrun just about any player near him. He's going to be more of George Kittle in terms of after the catch than he is Travis Kelce. He's kind of stiff in his hips, so he's not gonna make a crap ton of people miss, but he's gonna run away from a lot of people. And he has a chance to be, it's a rookie of the year always goes to a quarterback, but in that offense with Matt Ryan, he has a chance to win rookie of the year.
Mm.
At number 5, Cincinnati Bengals, Jamar Chase, wide receiver from LSU. That is an A grade. I am all for teammates getting
Reuniting.
paired back up. Yeah,
Mm.
always, man. The Bengals, people are like, oh, the Bengals should take Penei Sewell, the left tackle
Yeah.
from Oregon. The Bengals addressed the offensive line. It's not going to be horrendous. It'll be a top 17 offensive line. As long as Joe Burrow's movement isn't prohibited too much by wearing that knee brace, he's going to be able to move. And I promise you, Riley Reef, who's going to man that left tackle position, he came over from Minnesota. He's good enough that he is not going to allow Joe Burrow to be pressured from the left side that often. So long as they get the right side of the offensive line fixed, they'll be okay. You lose AJ Green to Arizona, so
Mm-hmm.
you need another guy in there because we don't know for sure if T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd have that number one it factor. We've seen both of them be very, very good. T. Higgins was a rookie last year. Tyler Boyd started coming on, but defense is still slid coverage to AJ. Jamar comes in, he's legit number one receiver. So Justin Jefferson set the NFL world on fire for the Vikings last year. Jamar Chase was better than Justin in college. I'm not saying Jamar's going to have that kind of rookie year because I don't think that rookie year will be repeated anytime soon. Justin also was playing next to Adam Thielen, who is always going to maintain a double coverage, and hey, he got right into work. But if Jamar breaks, goes in and actually studies film and works on his craft, he's going to be pretty freaking good.
I think it's a
Yeah,
good pick.
I'm a huge fan of the Bengals pick. So Miami Dolphins, Jalen Waddles, wide receiver, Bama. This is a D minus.
Don't like Waddle?
All right, so let me pose a question to you. Would you rather have Jalen Waddles or Henry Ruggs coming out of college?
coming out of college.
Yeah.
I don't know. I heard more about Henry Ruggs than I did Jalen Waddle.
There you go. Ruggs is better than Waddles. Ruggs is faster than Waddles, but Waddles is a Ruggs player, and Ruggs absolutely struggled in the NFL. Waddles is going to do the exact same thing. I think they wanted Devontae Smith here. I really think they do. And a lot of people are high on the Dolphins draft. I'm not. I am not high on their draft at all. I actually have Dolphins as in my losers group. And this is just me personally. I've seen a bunch of people saying Dolphins won the draft, yada, yada. I don't think they did. So Devontae Smith came out and publicly said he thought Mac Jones was better than Tua Tagovailoa. Dolphins quarterback is Tua Tagovailoa. So I can understand why they're not going to draft Devontae Smith. But you traded up, you traded your pick, you traded down, and then you traded back up to the number 6 pick when you could have stayed and probably still got Jalen Waddles. And you would have had more draft capital for a pretty loaded offensive line draft. You need offensive line help. You traded Eric Flowers, your starting left tackle last year, and I'm pretty sure the Dolphins didn't take an offensive lineman until I want to say the 3rd or 4th round. So I don't like the pick. He's probably going to be a good player, but everybody's looking for a Tyreek Hill clone. There's not another player in the world like Tyreek Hill. There's not. I mean, you're going to have burners, and that's pretty much it. Like Marquise Brown.
Hollywood.
He's Deshaun Jackson. I mean, these guys are Deshaun Jackson players, not Tyreek Hill players. Nothing wrong with that. Deshaun Jackson was an incredible pro, but injuries took a toll on him, and that's what we see with smaller guys is injuries take a toll. I'm sure Hollywood Brown would like it if Lamar could hit him a little bit closer to the numbers and get a lot more deep shots, but I digress. We'll go to the next one. Detroit Lions, Penei Sewell, left tackle, Oregon. This is an A+ pick. This is my number 1 player in the draft over Trevor Lawrence. I had Penei Sewell as a 99. I had Trevor at a 98. Penei Sewell, to me, is the next Jonathan Ogden, Orlando Pace. He will be a Hall of Fame left tackle. He's the best left tackle to come out since 2007, which was Joe Thomas, played for the Cleveland Browns.
Forever.
The dude is great at everything, bad at nothing. And if people say there's a weakness in his game, they're just trying to freaking nitpick because the dude is a freaking stud. Came in day 1 in an Oregon team and started. Oregon still runs a faster up-tempo style of offense, and Penei Sewell is at like 330 pounds and was still out there in the screen game, out there and at the left tackle spot, blocking everybody down, and still had the stamina to keep going in up-tempo space. Yeah, Penei Sewell, hands down, great pick. I actually love the Lions draft this year. The first time I've ever said that. And the past 8 years of geeking out over the NFL draft.
Yeah.
Also, this is not a NOS sponsored video. I'm just really tired.
I wish it was. That'd be cool.
Yeah, makes 2 of us.
Give us some free NOS.
Yeah.
At least.
Carolina Panthers at 8, J.C. Horn.
And the motherfucker stole J.C. Horn from us.
Well, I give it a B-. The simple fact that I like Patrick Surtain better.
Well, you're wrong, but whatever.
Well, I mean, that's to each their own. Patrick Surtain's a bigger corner. J.C. Horn's a more kind of in your face,
feisty. I like the guy. I like the guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get me wrong. He's going to be probably outside of Asante Samuel Jr. He will be the best coached corner in the draft. His dad, Joe Horn, played for the New Orleans Saints. Excuse me. So his dad was a Pro Bowl receiver. Dad's going to teach him the in and outs, what veteran receivers do to, kind of get open, the little pushes here and little push-offs there. And, he's going to work with his footwork to make sure that he knows when a double move's coming. So he's going to be coached really well. But like I said, the only reason it's a B- for me is because I like Surtain better. That was it. Gotcha. And then, of course, number 9, Denver Broncos take Patrick Surtain.
And I would have been. I really thought that we were going to have a corner at 10 available. We were going to take J.C. Horn or Pat Sertan, but they both came off the board, and I was not expecting that. Really, I wasn't, but it happened.
Neither was Jerry. He panicked when he traded because he
Yep.
traded with the Eagles. When's the last
Yep.
time you remember that being said?
Yep. I don't know the past drafts they've traded in front of the Cowboys to get stuff, but this time they traded with them.
It doesn't happen very often.
Nope.
Uh,
The Eagles had to get in
Patrick,
front of the Giants.
yeah, Giants were going to take Sertan, and they were going to take Devontae Smith as well if he would have fell. Those two players, the Giants had extremely high on their board. So Patrick Sertan, he's a good man coverage corner. Any cornerback from Alabama usually does all right. It's an A grade for me just because he was my number one corner in the draft. He wasn't my favorite corner, but he was the number one corner. He's going to struggle just like Jeff Okudah did, the number 3 overall pick last year for the Detroit Lions at Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
So there used to be a saying that it took a wide receiver in the NFL, a rookie, 3 years to adjust to the curve, and NFL corners could come in and help out day one and not have such a huge learning curve. Those roles have been reversed.
Yeah, it's backwards now.
Receivers come in and immediately contribute. Corners, on the other hand, take some time to adjust. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they don't face a whole lot of double moves in college. Like that's just not really taught. Either you're on the outside because you have wheels, or you're on the inside because you're not as fast. So I think they get beat by a lot of veteran receivers that know the in and outs of route running and can, sometimes do a double, even triple move, and rookies struggle. And Sertan and JC Horn both are going to probably most likely struggle in this year because they're going to come in and they're going to be asked to start right away.
Yep.
So at number 10, Dallas traded their pick to the Eagles. The Eagles take Devontae Smith, wide receiver from Bama. This is a B+ grade for me. I'm a huge Devontae Smith fan. Dude, all the knocks against Devontae Smith come about his size.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Skinny dude.
he's 6 foot, $160, $170.
Yep.
Do you know who was smaller and weighed less coming into his rookie year and is now considered an all-pro receiver?
No, Tyreek Hill.
Stephon Diggs.
Oh.
That's where I see Devontae Smith's game. Incredible route runner. Doesn't have, great breakaway speed, but he's crafty. He's good at route running. He's not afraid to take a hit. He's not afraid to go across the middle. I see a lot of Stephon Diggs' game in Devontae Smith. Now, Devontae Smith, to his own detriment, is the fact that he is willing to absorb that hit and, try to keep trucking. But he's going to face some injury issues. But if he can get into a weight room, he doesn't need to gain a whole lot of weight, 10, 15 pounds maybe. I don't even care if it's fat. I mean, you would prefer it to be muscle, but even if it's fat, that's just going to help cushion some of his blows. Devontae Smith is probably going to be day one, receiver one for the Eagles. He probably leads all rookies in receptions. I'm not going to say receiving yards or receiving touchdowns because I think Jamar is probably going to get that. But he leads day one. He's the Eagles' number one receiver. All right, at number 11, Giants traded their pick to the Bears. This is an A+++, exclamation mark, plus pick for me.
Well, that's good to hear.
Well, I'm a Vikings fan. So, of course, I don't want the Bears to get a quarterback, but I love Justin Fields. And at number 11, they took Justin Fields from Ohio State. The reason why this is such a huge plus for me is because they did not allow the New England Patriots to draft Justin Fields. If Bill Belichick would have found his way to get a hold of Justin Fields, we'd be looking at a 10 to 15-year Patriots dynasty all over again.
Yeah.
Justin Fields, we've already talked about. I'm not going to talk too much about him. He's my favorite quarterback in the draft. Um, he was. He's going to be. Honestly, they're probably not going to start him till week 4 or 5. They're probably going to try to ride Andy Dalton with the good defense. Hopefully, he makes some moves. It's not
Right.
going to happen. He's going to be started by week 4, week 5. He'll probably struggle early on, but with that defense, he probably has the best initial rookie career
Hmm.
because he's got more weapons around him than what Trevor or Zach does. Trey Lance comes out and starts week 1, though. Trey Lance blows everybody away because his supporting cast is far superior.
Yeah, I like the
Uh,
pick. I like Justin Fields going to Chicago. I think it's interesting.
yeah, I mean, it's the first time they've had a. Well, I take it back. Trubisky, but
A failed experiment.
well, if you look at Trubisky, I mean, he was taken before Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, and he's one of those that didn't have the experience, and they saw something like they saw potential, and they drafted him on potential.
That's what
And
Zach Wilson is.
yeah,
Uh, but we can go on and on about the Deshaun Watson situation, and I would like to cover that towards the end of our podcast. But at number 12, the Cowboys select Micah Parsons. Now, you're a Cowboys fan.
yep,
Parsons was the best linebacker in the draft.
yep.
Honestly, Parsons is probably the best linebacker in the draft since, I best, pure middle linebacker in the draft since Luke Kuechly.
You think so?
Yes. But Jerry Jones has a thing with numbers, right, on the jerseys.
I guess.
I mean, he forced CD to wear 88.
Yeah, kind forced is a strong word, but
So
encouraged.
there we go. What do you think about Micah Parsons wearing 94?
94. I think we already have a player wearing 94.
And we already had a player wearing 88 too.
What do you mean?
Do you know who number 94 is?
You talking about DeMarcus Ware?
Yeah.
Well, I think right now Randy Gregory's 94, unless the number was retired or something. But
Well, Jerry's going to encourage him to give up that. That is my shout
think
out to
so.
Ryan. Shout out to Ryan Law for putting this thought in my head. But yeah, Jerry's a big thing with numbers.
Right.
Parsons is going to be used like DeMarcus was.
Marcus Parson wants to have number 11 because that's what number he wore. And the guy that we had Cedric Wilson was wearing number 11 already, and he changed his number to 16 like literally a couple days ago, so that Michael Parsons could wear number 11. So
I'm just saying,
I don't think he's not going to wear 94. It's a cool idea, but no, I don't think it's going to happen.
well, numbers besides, they're going to use him like they used DeMarcus Ware. He's going to be a 3-down linebacker. They're going to use him in the middle. They're going to use him on the outside. The reason why I feel extremely confident with them using him as like a defensive chess piece, and he's going to have his hand in the dirt a lot, is because y'all drafted another guy in like the 4th round called Jabril Cox, and we'll talk about him later when we go over the Vikings and Cowboys drafts. But because y'all drafted him, I am fairly certain that Micah Parsons is going to be used more as an edge rusher than he's going to be used as a true traditional linebacker.
Hopefully at first, but not exclusively. I hope, anyways. What's your grade for Michael Parsons?
A.
A.
A. Yeah,
Pretty solid.
solid A. So at 13, Los Angeles Chargers select Rashawn Slater, tackle for Northwestern. He was my number 3 tackle. Chargers didn't even have to move up to get him. It's a good pick.
Mhm.
He comes in day 1, starts at left tackle. He's going to help out Justin Herbert. Those guys will be forever tied together. He's extremely sound in his pass sets. He's a pretty good run blocker. He's not the best pass protector in the draft, but he's not. He'll come in and be an average left tackle immediately, and has the chance to be a Pro Bowl talent within a couple of years in the right coaching. He'll probably come in and be like I want to say 20th overall left tackle in terms of by the end of the season by PFF, Pro Football Focus. They'll probably have him ranked in the top 20. He's a good player, great player at that pick. It's an A. I don't think he's as good as Panay Sewell, and I don't think he's as good as Christian Darrisaw. But
Oh, you like
he's
Darisaw, huh?
Darisaw's a better pass protector. That's it. Rashawn Slater's a better run blocker. It's
Gotcha.
an A. 14. My Vikings traded their pick to the Jets. I really wanted the Vikings to get Elijah Barrett Tucker, which
Hmm.
is who the Jets picked here. Um, Elijah Barrett Tucker is the best guard in the draft. He's the best run blocker in the draft, and he has the ability to play tackle. So he has the ability to be kind of like a combo offensive line utility man. He can play tackle. He can play guard. He's better at guard, but if you need him to play tackle, he probably could shine there as well. Uh, the Jets needed a lot of help. I'm fine with this pick. I give it an A. You probably could have stayed at 20, or what was it, 23? Probably could have stayed at 23 and still got a guy you wanted, especially with the way everything fell following. But
Hmm.
you found a guy you like, you trade up for him, you get him. It's an A
Get,
pick.
yeah, get your guys.
15, Patriots, Mac Jones, quarterback from Alabama.
Who?
Mac Jones.
Who?
He- Mac Jones. He's a This is a C pick for me. I don't think he's a good quarterback. He had 1 year of production. He could be a really good quarterback or he could be really crappy. It really just remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But I am a firm believer that me or you could go play in Josh McDaniel's system and with the short passing and with two Pro Bowl tight ends on the roster, we could probably do all right.
Maybe you, but I'd have to granny throw at this point. I have no arm, so
I mean, I probably can't throw more than 30 yards, but you don't need to. I just got to do a 5 yard check down.
yeah, yeah.
Then
I'm
hand the
so
ball off to
excited.
Ramondre.
I'm so excited, dude, for football season. Like I'm ready to see Mac Jones out there and see what he can do. I'm ready to see all
Oh,
the
he's
quarterbacks,
he's
see what
not
they
gonna
can
play.
do.
Mac's not gonna play his first year.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess they have Cam, so
They have a guy by the name of Cameron Newton who I think is gonna put on a show next year.
you think? I thought people said that about last year and that didn't really happen.
Who do you have to throw the ball to?
Well, who's he? Oh, he has what does he have? Tight ends now?
Yeah, he's got Johnu Smith and Hunter Henry.
Yeah. Who else is out there?
That's it.
Okay, cool.
You
I
got
guess
Ramon.
they have success with tight ends, but like they also had like Julian Edelman and some good receivers out there
Well, Edelman only played like 4 games
last
last
year.
year. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
hurt. So,
S- and now they don't even have him
well, they have
for four
Ramondre now.
games.
They have Ramondre Stevenson.
Oh yeah, is that's the guy from OU, right?
Yeah, they hurt my feelings. They got two OU guys. They got Ronnie Perkins as well.
Oh yeah, I saw that. The Cowboys were almost was looking at. I was hoping they would look at Ronnie Perkins, but
Yeah, I was too, but it hurt my feelings. So now I have to root for a Patriot player.
boo.
Um, yeah, I hate that. All right, so at 16, Arizona Cardinals. Favorite player in this draft, Zaven Collins, middle linebacker from Tulsa.
You like him that much?
Oh, he's an A+ pick for me.
Yeah.
I love him. I have come out and said publicly that I think Zaven Collins is the next Patrick Willis. Hall of Fame linebacker, Hall of Fame talent. So he runs a 4.4 4.3, but
Mm-hmm.
he's a big guy. He's 6'4,
260,
240,
270. He's big.
240, 250. He actually gained weight for the combine.
Right.
Um, but he still runs 4.4. So in college, there was a couple of times that he was so fast that he actually had to slow his body down or he was going to overrun a play. He's not going to have that problem in the NFL.
Right.
But the only issue to stop this from being like an A++++ pick for me is they drafted a guy last year in Isaiah Simmons who was a defensive chess piece, could play linebacker, could play safety, could play corner, and they didn't really use him properly.
Right.
But I think now the Cardinals are one of my winners in the draft. So Isaiah Simmons can play cornerback, safety, linebacker. Zaven Collins can play linebacker, safety. But what they're probably going to let him do is they're going to put him in the middle, and they're just going to be like, "Hey, see ball, get ball." That's it. See ball, get ball. Because you got JJ, Chandler Jones, um,
Buda
those
Baker.
guys. Yeah, those guys are going to be playmakers on the end, rushing.
Oh, gotcha.
So you don't really need, and your other two linebackers can cover. You can
Right.
just let Zaven Collins just be a ball hawk. Just be like, "Hey, You see an outside zone run, everybody else has got the coverage. Go get the ball. And if they do that, he could have a 200 tackle season.
Yeah, the Cardinals are a sleeper team next year. I think they're going all in. They're trying to win now.
I don't think they're a sleeper team. Vegas has their odds at like I want to say 12. So,
Really. So they're up. So they are not quite a favorite yet, but they're getting consideration.
oh yeah, they're most definitely up there with the wannabe contenders a little
Last year
bit.
they looked good in certain games, and then other games they
If
couldn't
AJ
play.
Green comes out and plays at 75% of what he was in his prime,
Right.
the
Dangerous.
Cardinals will be a playoff team. Number 17, I have my first F.
Oh no.
Las Vegas Raiders, Alex Leatherwood,
Oh, of
guard tackle
course.
from Alabama.
The Raiders, they go what,
So
just choose somebody whoever
I
they
don't know,
want.
dude. They pick. I don't understand their drafts. I don't. It's an F for me. I thought I had Alex Leatherwood listed as a third round talent. If you wanted a guard or a center, you go Creed. If you wanted to tackle, there's a couple of guys. Walker Little from Stanford who's sitting there. If you're gonna reach for a guy, reach for one of those guys. Christian Darrisaw is still on the board. Like
Right.
you went after and got kudos to you for having the cojones to pick the guy you want, but at the same time, you're stuck in mediocrity for a reason.
Right. Mountain of a man, Alex Leatherwood, right? Is he like
Uh,
6'7", 6'8"?
he's a big dude, big dude. But
I don't have
he
much to say about. I didn't watch much. Like whenever I talk about the players and stuff, I talk about more the idea of the player in my brain because I didn't. Well, I have too much stuff to do. I don't watch any film about this stuff. I just listen to a lot of different smart people talk about it. So that when I talk about the players that I know about, I know about the idea of the player and what they could do, not necessarily what I've seen because I don't have time to do all that stuff.
well, I should go in and tell you, I spent 4 months watching film on
Your guys,
300, 325 players.
all right, dude. Heck yeah.
So if I had it with me, I'd show you this big ass spiral notebook I get every year,
Of
and
players and
it's got yeah.
heck yeah.
I don't even get paid for this, so
Right. It's just a fun
really,
thing. That's why I don't. I mean, I like to do the draft. This is like the sixth draft that I've been invested in since like the Cowboys when I became their fan, and then started watching drafts, and then I started watching Cowboys coverage of drafts, and then I started listening to all the people talk about the draft, and I was like, hey, I'm invested in this stuff. It's like a big, it's it's a good football thing outside of football. Like I like this stuff as much as almost real football.
oh, I like this more than real football.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah, dude.
draft night is like a huge thing.
It's huge for me. I'm
Yeah.
a big draft fan because, dude, being a kid growing up, we always wanted to make it to the league. These kids, whether they do good in the league or not, are completing a part of their dream.
Yeah.
So
It's
that's
awesome.
that's awesome for me. But yeah, Raiders F they reach for that guy. Miami Dolphins, Jalen Phillips, defensive end for Miami. That's another D. I like the player,
Mm.
I do, but
Hurt guy, concussions, right?
well, yeah, he had to retire from football, come back, but the production's there. I mean, he's a good player. This is probably where I expected him to go around this area range. I would rather them if they're not going to take a lineman, which they should, because Darisaul's still on the board. I would have been really cool with them taking Najee, like surround Tua with as much. If you're going to already surround Tua with former players, go get him the best running back on the draft. But instead, you go for a guy who is a hometown guy. He's from the University of Miami,
Right, right.
but your quarterback has durability concerns already. Get him some help to protect him, then build the D. I mean, look at guys that's won Kansas City.
Oh yeah.
Built they got Mahomes, got him help, then built the defense.
Right.
Go ahead and do that first. Or you could be like Tampa Bay, build the defense, and then go get a Hall of Fame quarterback and free agency. But if you've already got your quarterback, you can't do that. Build around him and then worry about your defense.
I wish it was that easy, Marshall. Go find a Hall of Fame quarterback
Hey,
after your defense is built up. Just
supposedly,
find him.
Supposedly, Jerry's on the phone with Green Bay earlier today.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Then you want to trade. You want to take trade contracts and just send ship Dak up there and then bring Aaron down here.
I mean,
Would you do that? Would you do it?
if I'm a Dallas Cowboy,
Yeah.
no, absolutely not.
No, you
Dak
wouldn't take.
Prescott's what, 28 years old?
Yeah,
Aaron Rodgers is 36.
Dak's probably 27 right now because he's a little bit. He's like I'm 28. He's like a year younger than me, I think.
So he's my age. No,
Yeah.
no. I'm
Well, you
unless
only
I
have a.
know.
It's a 4-year contract. We got to sign him again.
Well,
What if our window we want to have Aaron for 3 more years instead of Dak for 3 more years, 4 more years?
compare the stats. Dak Prescott was on pace to put up similar number. Dak Prescott was on pace to have lead the NFL in every category before he got hurt.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Dak Prescott fan, but as much as I would love for Aaron Rodgers to leave Green Bay, the only team that I think legitimately has a shot is the Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders. The Packers are not going to trade him within the NFC.
Right. The Raiders, that's interesting.
I
The
will say,
Broncos, I don't know what the Broncos situation is really.
they don't have a quarterback. They
And
thought
but
it
they're
was Drew
good
Lock.
though. Their team, I don't hear anything popping off from their team though, as far as like players go. Or
Their
they
Von Miller will be back. Bradley Chubb. I mean, they get a quarterback, they immediately hop into contender situation. They don't get a
mm.
quarterback, they'll stick around.
It seems like
Great defense, horrible
that's
offense.
that seems like the thing with any team though. Any team that gets Aaron Rodgers is probably, I mean, they're a lot better.
I'll tell you right now, if Aaron Rodgers somehow makes his way to the Washington football team, I will change my Super Bowl prediction from the
Oh
Tampa Bay
God.
Buccaneers to the Washington football team.
Yeah, that would be insane.
The football
Washington would be
team
so good.
has no holes besides quarterback, dude. They're stupid good and they're young.
Yep.
They it's
And we and I need to look at their what happened with their draft
well
specifically.
they're the next pick actually.
Hey, let's get it.
19 Washington football team. Jamin Davis, outside linebacker from
Ah,
Tennessee.
yeah. And
This is
their
a D for
defense
me.
just getting. You don't like Jamin Davis? Jamin Davis?
Not when Jeremiah Wusu's right there on the board, who the Browns
Ah,
took in the second round.
right.
Jamin Davis is good. Uh,
He's cool because he has my name.
well, it's spelled Jamin.
I know. People should start saying it's Jamin Davis. Not it can't be Jamin because there's no Y in there.
Yaman. Ah,
Yamin.
I'm working on my dad puns. He's good. I did think outside linebacker was an area of concern for them, but the only reason I give it a D is because I'm so high on Jeremiah Owusu, and
Mm-hmm.
he's more of a coverage guy. If they wanted a guy that's going to go after the passer, they should have went after the dude from Georgia, but instead they take a guy who's good at both. He's good at getting after the quarterback. He's good at coverage, but it's not great at any one thing. He could surprise me because a lot of people were high on this pick, but I wasn't. Um, I thought if you're going to take a smaller linebacker, you better run faster than a 4.67.
How small is he? I thought he was a good, decent size.
Only 6 foot, 220, 230,
6 foot? Really? Jamin Davis?
maybe 6'1". He's
Hmm.
he's not that heavy though.
Hmm. I
But if
thought he
you're going to
was
be
for some reason I thought he was bigger than that. So he's even smaller than I thought he was at least the same size as
no, he's going to
Micah
be right up
Parsons.
there. No, he's going to be right up there with Devin Bush and Devin White, those
Oh, okay.
quick linebackers. But
Okay,
those guys are
gotcha.
smaller, but they run
Fast.
4.3, 4.4. This dude runs a
Yeah.
4.67. So
Okay.
I could be wrong about him. I don't think I am. I would have rather had Jeremiah Owusu. That's why they get a D.
Yeah, I got you.
So at number 20, the Giants, Kadarius Toney, wide receiver, Florida. This is an
Mm.
F.
You don't like Tony?
I love Toney. I think he's a great player, but where's he going to play?
Oh yeah.
You signed Kenny Galladay.
Right.
Okay, he's going to take outside spot. You have Darius Slayton already. He's your speed burner. He's going to be on the other outside. Sterling Shepard is
Hopefully coming back.
probably the best slot receiver in the NFL if he stays healthy.
Yeah.
You don't need another receiver.
This is a gadget guy.
You're right, but
What'd you say about the what like
where are you going to put him? I'm not
But
gonna drafting a gadget guy in the first round. I'm not.
yeah,
Where's he gonna play?
yeah, I've seen a lot of projections of him being a early second round or late first round
Yeah, I
player,
mean,
but
where he's at is fine. I mean, I like the dude. I like the pick.
not for the
I'm
Giants
a,
though.
yeah, not for the Giants. I mean, at 20, Chicago Bears take him instead of drafting Justin Fields. That's probably an A grade for me.
Hmm.
But with the Giants, they already have receivers. You mean to tell me Quiddy Pay, defensive end from Michigan, sitting there, Caleb Farley still sitting there, Christian Darrisaw still sitting there, um,
They need to get some corners. They
Greg
need,
Newsome from Northwestern still sitting there,
yeah, they got to
uh,
cover some Cowboys next
Gregory
year.
Rousseau still sitting there, defensive end from Miami. If you want pure like upside, there's Jason Away, the edge from Penn State that ran like a 4.3.
Right,
Like there's still guys on the board that fit your need, that fit your timetable. So why are you going after? I mean, unless the Giants are about to do full receiver sets, run shotgun formation with Saquon
right.
on the right side, like if you're going to do that, by all means, that makes sense. But if you're not going to run four wide every freaking play, there's no point in drafting a receiver. Moving on, because this is already taking too long. We're only at 21.
Yep.
Indianapolis Colts, Quiddy Pay, defensive end from Michigan, B plus. My number one defensive end uh, in the draft. I only had 1 year of production. Uh, his sophomore year, he was a rotational player. His freshman year, he barely played. Uh, good, good pass rusher. He's got a good rip move. He's got a good spin move. Needs to probably work on his spin move. Needs to work on his bull rush. Needs to add some lower body strength. But in terms of the Colts, like it's a great pick. I needed somebody outside of DeForest Buckner, who's the defensive tackle. He's going to play a three technique that can push the pocket in the middle, put Kwity Paye on the outside, and that runs everything to Darius Leonard, who's going to be on the weak side. Pushes everything over towards him. It's a great pick, great player. Honestly, if you're listening to this, Quiddy Pay, you don't know his story, go check it out. It's extremely heartwarming, and he will automatically become one of your favorite guys. Go check it out. Quiddy Pay, defensive end from Michigan. At 22, Tennessee Titans, Caleb Farley, Virginia Tech. This is a B. Caleb Farley was my number one corner going into the draft. He's had multiple back surgeries, and ever since I became like a huge NBA player, or an NBA player, like
Oh yeah.
NBA fan, NBA fan, I've seen the toll back surgeries take on players that because it's more common in the NBA than the NFL for a player to have back surgeries. Caleb Farley's had three, and that's just not something that's super duper easy to come back from. Uh, and football's a lot more violent sport than basketball. If he comes back, he's an A. The pick's an A. If this is kind of the only reason it's a B is for the simple fact there is a very, very high possibility that this is a bust pick. And that's just because not for lack of talent, but the fact that he can't get on the field because he's hurt.
Right.
And if he plays though, and if he comes back fully healthy, he's the best corner in the draft. And I don't think he struggles day one because I think he's the most cerebral cornerback in the draft. Going on. Uh, oh yeah, sweet. Number 23, A plus, Minnesota Vikings. Vikings. Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle from Virginia Tech.
Some biased. Someone's biased.
Absolutely not. Go look. Everybody's got him rated as an A pick. Um, I gave it an A plus because he was my number two offensive tackle. The only issue I have with Darrisaw is he has the strength to be to finish his blocks, to put his guy in the dirt, but he doesn't do it routinely. So they think he may lack like a menace, like a the tenacity to
Mm,
just go put guys in the dirt.
right.
That's really not a big issue for me. In a zone blocking scheme, which is what Minnesota runs, you don't really have to finish your guys. You just need to get them out of the zone and out of the way. He's going to do that. He's a huge dude. He's the best pass protector in this draft, in my opinion. That even goes over Penei Sewell. Like I said, Penei Sewell's great at everything,
Mm-hmm.
but Darrisaw's excellent at pass pro, average at run blocking. They Minnesota gets him in there, helps him work on his lower body. He comes in, steps in day one, left tackle for the Minnesota Vikings. A+ pick. Number 24, Pittsburgh Steelers. Najee Harris, running back from Alabama. I give it an A because this is like, you think of a Steelers running back. That's Najee Harris. Big dude, powerful guy. People don't remember, but Najee is better coming out of college than Derrick Henry was. Now, I'm not saying he's better than Derrick Henry by no means. Derrick Henry is arguably one of the best running backs in the NFL. He's probably top three,
Right.
right up there with gonna say McCaffrey if he comes back healthy, Chubb, Cook,
Yeah.
and Henry. You can put them how you want them, 1 through 4. But Najee is underrated as a receiver. He's got pretty good hands. He's a big back. He doesn't have the 4.4 speed, but he has the 4.5, and he's going to be able to run away from some guys. And this is just like a Pittsburgh Steelers pick. I mean, they want a dude who can carry the ball 25 times, so you're protecting your dinosaur of a quarterback. That's fine.
Right.
I love the pick. A lot of people hate the pick.
Yeah. People think maybe offensive line, but who's there in that range that you like?
Nobody.
So,
Not after Darisaw's been picked.
It's fine for me because I don't like the Steelers like at all. So take your running back and we'll tackle him. So he can.
The only player I would have picked right here that fit the little Steelers way is Creed. That's the only player I would have picked. At number 25, Jacksonville Jaguars. I want to give him a D, but I gave him a C+ instead. Travis Etienne, the running back from Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why is they still need help at corner. Greg Newsome's still sitting there. There's still some players on the board that would help out more immediately. James Robinson helped me get into the fantasy playoffs last year. He pretty much carried my team by himself. He's a great player. Is he as good as Etienne? No, but becomes a running back by committee. It's thunder and lightning. You're going to have Travis Etienne as your third down back. He's going to be your scat back. He's probably going to get, if each player can get 15 to 20 touches a game, whether that's receiving or running the ball, this becomes like an A pick because those are immediately two of your most talented skill position players. If they're going to give Etienne 20 carries one game, 5 carries the next game, 20 carries the next game, down to 1 carry the next game, like that's not going to work. You're going to have to find a way to get both of your guys touches. They do that, it becomes an A. They don't do that, they're really, really, really going to struggle offensively trying because you ride the hot hand. Let's just say in the NFL, you ride the hot hand. But if you're not going to give either guy a chance to be the hot hand, you're doing yourself a disservice. Cleveland Browns at 26, Greg Newsome, cornerback, Northwestern, B+. Best coverage corner in the draft, zone coverage. Struggles a little bit man-to-man, but great pickup, great kid. He's got good ball skills. My only issue with him is he did struggle in man-to-man coverage at times. But the Browns, getting John Johnson and getting Grant Delpit back at safety, they're going to run 2 safeties. He's going to have help over the top. So it's honestly probably the best position for him to go in besides the Seattle Seahawks.
Injury concerns for you there at all?
There's always going to be injury concerns with corners because
I think Newsome was a hurt guy. He never finished the season or something like that.
No, it was the year before last he got hurt.
I thought there was one guy I was thinking of. I know Newsome was banged up.
Caleb Farley was the guy that didn't finish the season.
Right.
But Newsome, with any corner, you're going to have some kind of injury concerns because if they're a man coverage corner, well, honestly, look at how big the running backs in the NFL are.
Yeah.
There's maybe 2 in college that they would have to tackle inside their conference.
Right.
So anyway, that's a B+ pick for me. I think it's a very good pick.
Yeah. Browns looking good.
I love the Browns draft. Baltimore Ravens, C+. Rashad Bateman, wide receiver from Minnesota. I do not like Rashad Bateman. I come out and said that. I think he is a 4th or 5th round talent. He is an Anquan Bolden-like receiver that plays like a really small guy, that plays really soft. He doesn't like getting hit. He doesn't like putting his. He doesn't like going across the middle. He's best when he's a number two option. Um, the dude they had there last year, I can't remember his name. I know I want to say Colin Johnson, but that's not it because that's a dude from Texas. But he was their number one. Bateman was their number two, and that's when Bateman had his best year.
Mm.
He when he played, when I watched tape on him, he looked uninvested. He looked unmotivated. He was just trying to get through the year so he can get drafted. I called this pick. Actually, I called quite a few of these picks, but I called Rashad Bateman to Baltimore because he was going to be everybody's highest rated receiver left. They take him. They needed a receiver help.
Right.
I would have rather taken probably Amari Rogers from Clemson. I probably wouldn't have taken him in the first round and the second round, but I would have went and got somebody. But they draft a big body guy who plays like a little guy. So maybe he gets in the NFL, he gets coached up, and he turns into a great pick. But I don't think so. New Orleans Saints C minus. Peyton Turner, Houston defensive end. Only reason this is a C minus is because I have no idea who this kid is.
I heard about Peyton Turner. Long, very long, tall.
So there was a lot of talk. Apparently, he was one of the fastest risers in the draft.
Yeah.
But at that point, I'd already had my core guys that I already scouted. So I did a little bit of look on him. He's a developmental guy, but he's like, they drafted Marcus Davenport from the University of Texas San Antonio a couple years
Oh
ago.
yeah. Gave up
He's in,
picks to get
yeah.
Marcus Davenport. I couldn't believe that.
Oh, he's in the same mold. Long, rangy defensive end guy. Doesn't have a whole lot of production, but blew it up in the Senior Bowl. So
Mm-hmm.
he has a chance to be a good. But like I said, I didn't really know a whole lot about him, so I'm just going to go with an average C grade because he could be good, could be bad. Either
Right.
way, I don't know a whole lot about him to really give a grade.
Right.
Green Bay Packers at 29. So when we're grading
Cornerback,
these,
maybe cornerback.
Eric Stokes, cornerback from Georgia. When we grade these, we go what A, B, C, D, F, right?
Yeah.
Green Bay Packers get a Z, as in zebra, as in worst fucking or freaking pick. My apologies. That
No,
you
it's
could
fine.
that you could come up with. Your quarterback has already showed you that he was disgruntled. You mean to tell me you cannot go pick a lineman, you cannot pick a receiver, you cannot pick a tight end. There's nobody in there that you would rather have. Don't get me wrong. I like Eric Stokes from cornerback from Georgia. He was a late first, early second round talent. But if your quarterback who just won you an MVP wants you to draft somebody, do it. Aaron Rodgers has all the leverage. He has made enough money. He's a guaranteed Hall of Famer. He doesn't have to play another snap to get into the Hall of Fame. His legacy will be protected. He's unhappy. He can just be like, "Hey guys,
Retiring.
I'm not gonna play. Like either trade me or I'm retiring."
I think he's retiring if he can't get traded.
I think he'll eventually play, but
If they
that's
want
just
to,
because he misses it.
right? Like if he wants to host Jeopardy, they're gonna give him. If they're gonna
He
give him a
killed that.
chance,
He killed that, man. Like he really did.
yeah.
But like I said, I like the player, but you're gonna have to appease your quarterback.
Right.
And not all the time does that work. Like the Sean Watson case, they didn't bow to his demands, and now looking like Deshaun Watson will probably never play in the NFL again.
Yeah. Sad story.
For his victims, if it's true.
Right. Yeah.
I don't. That's a whole topic for another podcast we can do.
Almost
number 30.
Almost got him. Almost got him.
Yep,
Number 30.
almost 30. Buffalo Bills, Gregory Rousseau, defensive end from Miami. It's a B minus. Dude sat out last year. His sophomore year, he had 15 sacks. And then his freshman year didn't do anything. So he's only got 1 year of production, which is what you see with a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
Due to this COVID season, they only have 1 year of production. Extremely, extremely, extremely athletic, but lacks the ability, I believe, to bend around a corner. So he's going to have to win with speed. He's going to have to win with craftiness. He's not going to win with strength, and he's not going to win with his quick twitch and ability to bend underneath an offensive lineman. Other than that, it's a great pick. Buffalo needed another defensive end. He fits their timetable. He probably comes in as the rotational pass rusher immediately. But if I'm going to go after a guy who I know I'm going to have to coach up, I would have went with the guy who the Baltimore Ravens took at 31, Jason Away, the edge from Penn State. At 31, I give this a B grade.
Super athlete.
4.3. That's it. That's all I got to say. 4.3. You're a freaking 270-pound human being and you run a 4.3.
Yeah.
Enough said. I don't care if you can't, because look at what the Vikings did a couple years ago. Drafted Danielle Hunter in the 3rd round. Had like 0 sack production out of LSU, but was this freak of a human. They get him in. They teach him how to be a pro. They teach him, pass rush. Andre Patterson is probably the best defensive line coach in the NFL. They teach him, coach him up, and now he's one of the best defensive ends in the league. Baltimore Ravens are known for making pass rushers. They're going to get this kid in. They're going to teach him how to use his hands. They're going to teach him how to fight off blocks. They're going to teach him different moves, different pass rush moves. They're going to get him in the weight room. Great pick.
Could be scary.
Purely upside. It's going to take him a couple years to finally get it, but when he does,
Yeah.
it will be scary. 32. Another one kind of
Buccaneers.
like with Peyton Turner, Joe Tyron, Edge, Washington. Going to give it a C because I don't know anything about the guy.
Oh, what's it? Joe
Tyron.
Tryon.
Yeah, Tryon.
Yeah, I forgot who they picked. I thought for some reason I seen them getting mocked a lot of like running backs and stuff, so I thought it was a running back or wide receiver. But yeah, the Joe Tryon, the defensive end. Heard good.
No.
I've heard good things about him from people. Say he's pretty good. So
You know what? The Buccaneers, they could have drafted
doesn't matter who.
freaking, they could have
Yeah.
drafted me or you. And people would have been like, well, they obviously know what they're doing. They just won Super Bowl. They
Right.
built up a great defense. So,
They really needed some people to get. They needed some people to give out water and hydrate the rest of the good
well,
players on our team.
they
So
needed
they took a good water boy in the first round. His name's Jamin Riley out of the couch
out
at
of the Couch
Anada
University.
off the couch university.
Man, the only thing they really needed was O line, D line depth. That's what he provides. He's another body they can throw on the inside. He can play the 3 technique or he can play the 5 technique. Um, Either way, they're going to be fine. He
Yeah.
helps the defense out. So
Yeah.
let's go with grades, or not grades, but winners.
Winner, chicken
Biggest
dinner.
winner in this draft, Kansas City Chiefs. So their 31 overall selection, which was Jason Owu, which they traded to the Baltimore Ravens for a guy by the name of Orlando Zeus Brown.
Yeah.
I don't care if my bias shows I'm an OU boy. Brown has been a Pro Bowler at the right side and then left side last year. The dude is a Pro Bowl talent. You get him for the 31st overall pick. Comes in day one, you're starting left tackle. Great pick.
Yep.
You get a Pro Bowler for sure with your first round pick. Okay. At your second pick, you draft Creed Humphrey.
Oh yeah. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, picked up the number 1 center in the draft.
Yeah.
So Creed's
Another
going to
OU
come in.
guy.
Well, another OU guy, but he really is the best center in the draft.
Yeah,
They've
he's
come out.
good. High character guy.
Yeah, he's a wrestling background. I'm all for guys who have a wrestling background that are on the O line. He knows how to win with leverage. I've watched a crap ton of tape and crap ton of people telling me, like, for them to find a weakness with this guy, they have to go and nitpick. So if you're telling me you have to nitpick a guy, he's probably he is technically sound. Um, so just to put this in perspective, Super Bowl, Tampa Bay's defense just decimates Kansas City's O line. Patrick Mahomes has like no chance to throw the ball.
Yep.
Since then, their new look, they have Joe Thuney playing left guard, was one of the best left guards in football, got him from the Patriots. You get Kyle Long, who's a Pro Bowl guard for the Bears before he retired, get him out of retirement. Uh, you trade for Orlando Brown as your left tackle. You have they signed another center, but I can't remember his name, and you draft Creed Humphrey. So all that leads you to figure out is your right tackle spot.
Did
And
they
you
have a
have
guy that could come back at right tackle?
oh yeah, David Turninoff or whatever, the doctor guy that sat out to help with he's an actual doctor, but he's got his doctor's degree. He's from Canada. He Lauren David Taff or something like that. He's sat out last year to help with the COVID pandemic, but he's coming back this year and he can play guard or tackle. So, I mean, there's a chance like the Chiefs O line it goes from the worst to one of the best. And I do think Creed Humphrey comes in day one, just like Orlando, and is the starter.
That's good.
Let's go with the loser real quick.
Packers.
Yeah, Packers was bad.
Just
I'm gonna
because
go.
they're losing their quarterback.
Yeah, let's go. My first losers, Oakland Raiders. They reached for Alex Leatherwood. Uh, I've already talked about that.
Right.
Uh, Trevin Moehrig, he's the number one safety in this draft. They got him a second round. Great player, but he's a roaming safety. And by that, I mean he's a guy that's going to go back there. He's going to cover the entire field. He's
Right.
best when not playing next to somebody. The Raiders are going to use a two safety set. They're going to have two deep safeties. So that limits his ability to make plays on the other side of the field.
Mm.
The other safety they had back there isn't going to have the coverage ability of what uh, Morik does. So you kind of limit his ability to make plays for you. So that's why I didn't really necessarily agree with that pick. They drafted a whole bunch of development guys on day 3. The Raiders have proved that they cannot develop talent. Um,
You sound like a real Raiders hater right now, just to let you
I'm
know.
not. I'm not, dude. I'm a big Derek Carr fan. I like Derek Carr. I like
That's the craziest thing you
uh,
said all day.
who is their running? But I like Josh Jacobs. Darren Waller is one of my favorite players.
You like
Max
the
Crosby. I like Max Crosby, their defensive end.
you like their coach up there?
Oh, Johnny G. Not really.
I love John Gruden. He's so funny.
I don't
I
think
used to love watching his quarterback thing,
I
the
love his
quarterback
personality. I
whatever.
don't think he's a good coach. Yeah, Gruden's quarterback room.
I always watch the Dak Prescott one. Like once a year I watch that just 'cause it's so funny to me.
I don't think Mayock. I think Mac Mayock's a little bit out of his league.
Right.
Let's go back to winners. Browns, Greg Newsom, where I talked about him. Jeremiah Wusu, they get him in the late second round.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any questions about this guy, go put on the tape of him running stride for stride with Devontae Smith. Stayed with him the entire time. The dude's a linebacker safety. He's a hybrid player. He can. The Browns are going to find a way to use him to get him on the field. He was my number one outside linebacker in the draft. They get him in the second round. That's a
Surprised he
huge.
fell so far. I heard lots of people talking about JOK as like top pick, first round pick for sure, but
I
it's weird.
think. I think it was because how bad Isaiah Simmons struggled in Arizona with those
Yeah.
tweener guys. I think,
Yeah.
but the Browns they get a first round talent on day 2.
Yep.
Um, the last for my winners, Arizona Cardinals, because they drafted my 2 favorite players in the draft, Zayvon Collins and Rondell Moore. I've already talked about it leaked that Zayvon Collins, I think he's the next Patrick Willis. If he learns how to read NFL offenses and he gets in that film room and studies, I think he will be he'll be a for sure Hall of Famer if he can get in and study the playbook. And then Rondell Moore. People forget, but Rondell Moore, freshman year at Purdue, blew everybody away. This dude's 5'7". He's a 4.3 guy, but it's not a fast 4.3. He's quicker rather than faster, but he is he's a human highlight reel. And I promise you, Cliff Kingsbury is going to find a way to get him involved. So if you go back to, you remember back when we had who was the quarterback after Sam Bradford? Landry Jones. So
Oh,
do you
okay.
remember the Landry Jones years?
Yeah.
And when we played Texas Tech, they had this little guy that would always he was in the return game and he would always come out of the slot, come out of the backfield, and he would always have over 100 yards on us. His name was Jakeem Grant.
Okay.
He was a wide receiver for Texas Tech. Cliff Kingsbury was his offensive coordinator.
Oh
Jakeem
yeah.
Grant's a 5'7" little spark plug, and he always found a way to use Jakeem Grant against us.
Right.
Rondell Moore will be the same way, and Rondell Moore is better than Jakeem Grant. With AJ Green, DeAndre Hopkins, Christian Kirk, now Rondell Moore, dude, it's crazy.
That'll be fun.
My less my losers. Dolphins, I already told you. Uh, bunch of other people love their draft. I didn't. I don't like Waddle's pick. Devontae Smith would have been better. Jalen Phillips, like I said, good player, good pick, but they had O-line issues. They should have went after a running back. They also drafted Javon Holland, who was my
Mm,
second-rated safety. Well, he's
right.
a strong safety. They need a coverage guy. They don't need a guy that's going to go down and play linebacker, which is what Holland's going to do. And last but not least, the biggest losers of the draft, though, is the Green Bay Packers. They didn't draft a receiver to the third round. Don't get me wrong, Amari Rogers is a great guy, is a
Yeah.
good pickup, but you had a chance to draft some different makers. Elijah Moore was still on the board um, when they picked Stokes. I mean, there was guys left that were extremely talented. I really wanted the Packers to take Rondell Moore because I see a lot of Tyreek Hill mixed with Randall Cobb and Rondell Moore. And when the Packers were at their best, they had Jordy Nelson on the outside, Randall Cobb in the slot.
Yep.
Devontae Adams is better than Jordy Nelson.
Yep.
Rondell Moore would have been better than
Randall Cobb.
Randall Cobb.
Oh, really? That's great. Randall Cobb's
I'm
great. I love Randall Cobb.
I'm a huge Rondell Moore fan, dude. I think he's amazing. But anyway, the biggest losers, Green
Heck
Bay
yeah.
Packers, didn't draft a receiver to the third round. Your
And they
quarterback's
take
probably gone.
cornerbacks. They take cornerbacks like first round every other year. It seems like.
Well, yeah, you play in the NFC North. You got to
Yeah.
think we've had Adam Thielen, Randy Moss, Justin Jefferson now. Allen Robinson is an All Pro for the Bears, but at one point they had Brandon Marshall and Ashon Jeffrey. Calvin Johnson played for the Lions, Jordy
Yeah.
Nelson, and I mean the NFC North has been stacked with receivers, so you're always going to have the NFC North taking corner guys.
Right.
So those are my biggest winners and losers. Now, last but not least, we'll cover our favorite team's draft, and I'll let you go ahead and start with the Cowboys.
Who? Who? All right. So starting at pick number 12. So we trade back, pick up an extra third round pick, uh, which was pick 84 overall. Michael Parsons at 12. I'm pretty happy with that. I was hoping for a corner just because he really needed a corner. But Michael Parsons, great athlete, great upside. I think he needs a little bit work with instincts and figuring out the position just a tad bit. There was some character concerns, but I'm not too worried about that. He's going to grow up and mature a little bit. Um, Kelvin Joseph in the second round, good old Boss Man Fat. You know about Boss Man Fat?
The only issue I have with Kelvin Joseph is he's a little grabby.
Yeah, that's fine with me. Kelvin Joseph is a lot of people talked about him in the first round, but he does have some character concerns. This is like our this is the
Dallas Cowboys
Cowboys.
are the new Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, we used to have Jason Garrett, and he was the right kind of guy. That's Jason Garrett's motto. We're looking for the right kind of guys, and now Mike McCarthy's here, and we got Dan Quinn, and they're just looking for guys that can play now. And I'm excited for Kelvin Joseph. I think he has the talent and the tools to be a great corner. So we'll see. 75th overall first third round pick, Osa Odigizawa, a defensive line, more of a three technique guy. Um, I, this is the draft. I think what the Cowboys did was they got their guys, which I respect, and I think the overall their draft was pretty solid. I'm not super stoked about some of the picks later, but there's some that I really loved. First two rounds, I'm very happy with those. After that, it's kind of like, well, they got their guys because Oso Digizawa, I didn't hear much people talk about him when they talked about the Cowboys picks, but he's kind of like a more of a floor guy than a ceiling guy. I'm happy with that. Plays run good, and what the Cowboys suck at last year, they couldn't stop anybody in the run. So,
Everything.
yeah, everything on defense. That's why this is the
Same for us.
first time in franchise history the Cowboys have taken six defensive players in a draft without an offensive player. First six picks, all defense. So then Chauncey Golston is the second third round pick that we had, pick 84 that we got from the
That's a
Eagles.
safety.
That is Chauncey Golston is edge
Okay, yeah, I got you.
edge guy from Iowa. Um, and
Yeah,
what
yeah.
what they've said about him, solid, solid player, like another high ceiling guy, good character. I think he was yeah, Odigizawa was the interior guy. The edge, this guy was the team captain from Iowa. I think he played all 4 years, so he's a senior guy. Um, happy to see him come in. And these guys are like solid players, can hold up a good against the run. They were saying that he's not as much as far as pass rush, like he has the tools, but just doesn't can't get there yet. More of a power rush guy, bull rush guy than like gonna hit you with the spin move or whatever. But and then this is where we get to the cornerback, Nashawn Wright. Did you see about this? The 99th pick, this tall corner that came out of nowhere. A lot of people were hating on it.
Uh, yeah, but they took him because of his size. Like you can teach someone to play, but you cannot teach size and speed.
Yeah. Um, the knock on this guy was that there was other players on the board that kind of fit that mold. Not as tall as him, not as long, but there was like Paulson Adebo was on the board. Um, some other I don't remember the other guys' names, but they were similar. Milafonwu was on the board, and he's another tall, athletic guy that could have played that role. But for some reason, like I said earlier, they took their guys, so you can't be faulting them too
No, you
much.
can't hate on that, man.
Dan Quinn knows what he wants. He wants that tall Richard Sherman corner, I guess. And at 99 overall, before Jabril Cox, they took this guy before Jabril Cox, who many people had Jabril Cox in like the second round, third round, early third round guy. Very great coverage guy, great character guy. He left his school where he won championships, and he was like because it was like a Division II or whatever school, American
North
Conference
Dakota State
school.
University.
Yeah, and so he went to LSU because he's like, man, I've done all I can do here. I want to go to a big school and play. Played 1 year, had a good year. So I'm excited about Jabril Cox and Micah Parsons being on the
So hot
field.
take:
Yeah,
Jabril Cox wins Defensive Player of the Year.
defensive rookie of
Defensive
the
Rookie of the
year.
Year. Yeah. So this dude at, like I said, North Dakota State. This dude was one of my favorite players. Um, he fills up a stat sheet. I think his last year at LSU had like 57 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, 4 sacks, 3 interceptions, 4 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries. Like,
Yeah,
dude, he will come in. He'll be Sean Lee. He'll take Sean Lee's spot. He'll be the guy that's always in a consistent position to make plays where they move Micah Parsons all around to try to put him in the best position to take
get at
advantage
the
of his
passer.
talents.
Yeah,
Jabril Cox, on the other hand, is just going to be steady at whatever he does. And he was, in my opinion, Jabril Cox was Dallas's best pick.
yeah, a great value, great player. I feel like he's gonna I feel like he's going to help out. And I feel like our team is revamped with guys. Like we have 11 picks, most in the draft, and guess what? We drafted 11 players. I thought they would trade up or down a little bit to, get some higher picks, possibly, trade a couple fifth rounds to get a fourth or something. But no, they took 11 players. So then they got Josh Ball, offensive tackle. A lot of people said he had some very bad character concerns, some domestic violence type things. But so, and you never know. Certain things are you can't tell without the full story. So I won't make any judgments about that without knowing what I'm talking about. So, but they say if that was off the table, they say he's a top 50 player. So we'll
Top
see.
50 or top 15?
Top 50. Like he has the good talent. But then Simi Fahiko is a wide receiver, Stanford. Hopefully he can make the team. It's the only receiver we took. Um, fast guy, strong, but more of a special teams pick, is what they say. I like it. They said he made some good plays in some clutch plays at Stanford last season. So I had to watch that game. It'd be fun. And finally we got a Quentin Bohanna, a one tech guy. The Cowboys have not drafted a big old run stopping boy in like many years. And this dude is all of that. He's not going to get you any sacks, but he ended
any
up
sacks or whatsoever.
any
Like not even
sacks.
the rare occasion where he just bull rushes a guard until the quarterback knocks him down.
Right, the quarterback had to run right into him probably because he was a 4 year starter. No, no, no. I don't know if he's a 4 year starter, 4 year player, but he um he ended up his whole career with like 60 tackles or something like that. So
So he's just double team every
right,
play. He's gonna take out He's gonna take out two linemen.
yeah. So big dude, and I hope he makes the team because we haven't had somebody like that in a long time. That's just going to be a run stopper. And let me tell you what I keep saying: the Cowboys are terrible in defense. The one thing they couldn't do, you got to stop the run, and then they'll worry about everything else. I guess they got a lot of players on here that's going to help stop the run. Michael Parsons can fly around. We got these interior guy in the third round. Chauncey Golston can play the run really well. They is what they say, and I've seen some tape of him getting bruising some guys. Quentin Bohanna. And then they took another big, tall cornerback, South Carolina, Israel. I don't even know how you say his name. Makanumara, Makanamu. I don't know. I didn't hear anybody say his name, but
So like
he's
you're trying to say a what is the dog's name of Naruto? Uh, Kiba and Amakamaro. Oh, what was it?
I don't know.
Oh, what is the dog's
Oh,
name?
Akamaru.
Akamaru. That's what it sounds like you're trying to say.
Yeah. And then the last pick they took another offensive lineman from Nebraska, and I don't remember what they said really about this guy, but offensive line help is needed because Tyron Smith's getting up there, he can't play a whole season. Lyle Collins was dinged up last year, didn't play any, so we need some depth, some guys to compete, make some other guys better. So I'm happy with it. I think it's solid. I don't know about a grade. I think maybe a B plus because I think the first round they did what they could do. Later rounds, I don't feel like the tall corners. That's Dan Quinn thing. Hopefully that'll work out. I feel like the Cowboys got the guys that they wanted, so you can't hate on them for that.
No, so I also give the Cowboys a B plus. Like I said, I'm big on the Jabril Cox thing. Dallas came in; they were the most hurt team last year. They come in, needed depth. They got depth. People forget Neville Gallimore from OU last year actually had a really, really good season. He'll be the starter.
Yeah, yeah,
They provide depth at every position besides quarterback and I want to say receiver.
yeah,
And they signed an undrafted free agent running back. I can't remember who it is, but
yeah.
Dallas filled depth, which is where they need to on the O line and D lines, where they were hurt the most last year. Um, like I said, I've already talked about Jabril Cox. I think Micah Parsons, they're going to try to use him like DeMarcus Ware. Um, Jabril Cox has a chance to be the best player from this draft class. Immediately, Micah Parsons ultimately has the most talent. But no,
Mm-hmm.
Dallas did exactly what Dallas needed to do, and that was to get depth along some of the important positions. Um, I definitely give it a B plus. The only issue I have with Dallas is they drafted, and I hate using this word, but hot character concerns,
Yep,
especially with the way people threw it around with Justin Fields. But they drafted two guys that do have a history of domestic violence, and that's not something to take lightly. That's something the NFL doesn't take lightly. And if that happens again, the NFL is not going to do, 3 game suspension. Here's a fine. They're going to lay the hammer down.
yep.
Roger Goodell's already come out and said that. Uh, with them being more lax on the marijuana issue and certain
Mm-hmm.
things along that nature, something's going to get more strenuous, and that's going to be the domestic violence, especially with how big the Deshaun Watson case is coming right now. And if he does get indicted on any of these and he loses this lawsuit, he'll never play in the league again. The league's already got a bad rap for domestic assault and
Yep,
domestic violence among their players. If one of the Dallas rookies screw up, his whole first year is probably gone. That's my only concern with that. But otherwise, Jerry had him a Jerry draft. Dallas has killed the draft the past 2 years.
yep. I'm glad. I hope
About
that some of
time, y'all
those
been missing.
yeah, I hope some of those guys that didn't get to play last year, Bradley and I and Reggie Robinson, some of our later round picks can play this year. But also, I mean, nobody's job is safe now because Dan Quinn picked all his players. Mike McCarthy picked some of his players, and now the guys that were here from the Jason Garrett regime, you're on the hot seat. Jalen Smith, Leighton Vander Esch, them
Oh,
linebackers
I read today that Bander's 5th year option was going to be
just
declined.
declined. Yep, I heard that too. So nobody's job is safe, which is good because we need some people to come in here and make a roster that want to play and want to be good.
Well, I don't understand how Leighton Vander Esch keeps hurting his neck. Have you seen that dude's neck? It's a freaking tree trunk.
Right. I
How do
think
you
it.
how do you damage that?
I don't know. He looks just like, and every time I see him, he reminds me of a Thad Castle from the Blue Mountain State. I'm like, that's just.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
Or
like, he
he
looks
reminds
like
me
a.
of a turtle. He's
Yeah.
huge and he's got like no neck, but what he
Yeah.
does have of a neck is like
And he wears that neck, that
yeah,
thing that comes up. That,
cowboy collar.
yeah, just like Thad wears that too. It just, I'm like, man, it just looks like a.
And he's white and kind of cocky, so
Yep.
it just kind of fits it. No, Dallas had a really good draft. To cover my Vikings, there was a actually honestly, I only had two players I didn't agree with. First round, we took Christian Darrisaw, left tackle from Virginia Tech. I think he's day one starter at left tackle. Uh, very, very, very solid. But our second or our first pick in the third round, because we didn't have a pick in the second, Kellen Mond, quarterback from Texas A&M.
Oh yeah, y'all got Kellen Mond.
So the dude improved every year he was the starting quarterback.
Yeah.
But he's got accuracy issues the same way Josh Allen did. Not saying that he can't fix them,
All right.
but we're married to Kirk Cousins for another 2 years, so you have 2 years to see if this guy checks out. Now, with as many third round picks that we had, I don't mind the fact that we took a flyer on a dude who could possibly be the next starting quarterback from the Vikings. He's also extremely athletic, extremely big. Like if he gets coached up and Kirk Cousins actually kind of helps him out, there's a
Mm-hmm.
chance Kellen Mond could, because pure skill set, the dude belonged in the first round, but he struggled with accuracy and he struggled with decision making skills. If that gets fixed, not saying it will, but that gives the Vikings a quarterback of the future. It gives them a succession plan after Kirk Cousins. And worst case scenario, he's a solid backup.
Yeah,
Because right now,
I've heard Colin Kaepernick comparisons. What do you think?
uh, he's not as good of an athlete as Kaepernick was.
Really?
Yeah. Nah, dude, Kaepernick was like
Was
a
yes,
4-4.
I
He's
gotcha,
blind.
gotcha. I didn't
But
know how about. I liked Kellen Mond. He played. He was a Senior Bowl guy, right?
yeah, Texas A&M.
So I
He
watched
was
him
the
play at the Senior Bowl. It
he
looked
was
pretty
the
good.
guy that came in the same year as Kyler Murray. He was like the number 3 dual threat quarterback. Kyler was 1.
Mm,
And Kyler beat him out for the starting job. And then Kyler got hurt or got benched in favor of Mond, and Mond never gave up the starting job again.
dang, and he's been there ever since.
Yep. Uh, they got Chad Surratt. So there's going to be a theme with the Vikings players here. Chad
Right.
Surratt, he's a linebacker from North Carolina. He's a dude whose brother was also in the draft. This guy is a converted quarterback in college. Like he was a quarterback in college and then converted to linebacker his junior year and played linebacker his junior and senior year.
Yeah, I've heard the name. The super athletic guy, right?
Stupid, super athletic. Has a
Yeah.
chance to replace Anthony Barr in the backfield and the linebacker. Uh, he's got an innate awareness that only somebody who plays quarterback knows, like positional awareness. He knows what everybody's going to be doing on the field as well as the opposing offense. So this has a chance to be a really good underrated pick. 4, we got in the third round, we got Wyatt Davis. I had a round 1 grade on this dude as a guard. Late first, early second round grade. A lot of people had the same. Somehow he slipped in the third round, and he's going to step in right away and be their starting left guard. So their starting offensive lineman, the left tackle and left guard, are going to be 2 rookies. But if these guys struggle, it's going to be a rough year for me again. But
Mm.
if they somehow are able to be the kind of players that they are capable of, look out because the Vikings will never be the laughing stock on the O line again. So next, Patrick Jones. They got a defensive end from Pittsburgh. He's another kind of development guy. So he's really, really, he's a big dude, man. His dude's like 6'5", 280, running 4.640, big dude. But he won all. So with Daniil coming out, there was like 0 sack production. Like he only had like 6 sacks in 3 years. Jones is not the same. Like he led his team with 9 sacks last year in a condensed season, and so he's put up sacks, but he's won with just pure athletic ability. He hasn't won with football ability. He hasn't won with football technique. So Andre Patterson gets in there, coaches him up. There's a chance that he could come in and also start day one on the opposite side of Daniil Hunter. And if Daniil Hunter is not fully healthy, this dude probably does start. Um, we drafted another dude, Kene Nawago from Iowa State. He's a running back. I don't know anything about him because every time I watched the Ohio State film, it was Bryce Hall just killing everybody, including us. So, from what I've heard, he's a bigger back. He's a good receiving back. He's going to be replacing Mike Boone and Rock Thomas. Cameron Bonham, he played cornerback at Cal. He's going to play safety. Uh, he's going to switch to safety. He's already said that the Vikings have already said they're going to switch him to safety. He probably could stay at corner. He lacks top end speed, but he's going to be a great zone coverage guy, and he's going to learn from one of the best safeties in the NFL, and Harrison Smith. But honestly, the Vikings left tackle could start day one. Their left guard could start day one. Um, if for whatever reason Nick Vigil struggles, Chaz Surratt could be a starting linebacker day one, and Cameron Bonham could win the other safety spot outside Harrison Smith. So the first 5 picks, that's possible 4 starters. That's
That's
amazing.
good. Yep.
Janarius Robinson out of Florida State. So they're going to move this dude inside. He played D end at Florida State, but they're going to move him inside. He's too big. He's almost 300 pounds. So, yeah, they're going to move him inside. I don't really know a whole lot about him. I watched his film before. Actually, I watched his YouTube highlights before we even got on here, and he's just a dude that wins with his motor and his motor only. So it's another guy kind of like Patrick Jones. Andre Patterson's going to get him in, going to coach him up, and we'll see. But I think honestly, that's kind of a whiff on that one.
Mm.
Emir Smith, he's an Iowa guy. He's a gadget dude, kind of like in the Percy Harvin mold. He'll be the kick returner, punt returner. He'll probably be given the job, and it'll be his to lose the return job. Uh, I do not think that he will be the third receiver, but he has the possibility. So if this dude just comes in and blows everybody away, there's a chance that he's the third receiver behind Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. But most likely they draft him to be the return guy. I would love to see him in the passing game, but we'll see. And then I want to say in the 5th or 6th round, we drafted Zach Davidson. So this dude is a Division II. He's a tight end and a punter.
Interesting.
He was the Division II's George Kittle.
Wait a minute. Was he was a punter at first and then he became a tight end, right?
Tight end, yes.
Okay. I did hear about this guy.
And he
good tight end.
Huge, great tight end. They called him the George Kittle of Division II. He's got limited reps against quality opponents, but what's crazy is the Vikings expect him to compete for the second tight end spot behind Irv Smith. He has a chance. I mean, he ran a 4.6. He has a chance to be good. He's a big body guy.
Yeah.
But he could actually probably come in and compete for the punting job. Like the dude averaged 48 yards a punt.
I think though that they really want him to be a tight end though, right?
You mean to tell me you can't do both?
Well,
you're punting. It's not like you
want your tight end out there catching balls and then accidentally land on his, tweak his leg or his ankle a little bit, and then you have to go to your backup punter for the rest of the game, or maybe you don't even have a punter. That's the one thing I'm worried about is getting them hurt or something because you have to have your punter to kick your punts because that's more of a skill specific thing than tight end.
What if you got a kicker who can also punt?
Well, that's true. That would be good.
Like, but then Austin Seibert for OU.
Right. Well, do they have him?
No, but your kicker can be an emergency punter. I'm just saying, like.
Well, do you want to have an emergency punter though? Because I guess
everybody on the team has an emergency something.
You're right. I don't know like the odds of that. Because what if he gets a season ending injury?
Well, what if his only way to make the team is punting? I'd rather him try to make the team as our
as a
punter, and
punter.
then build his skill set up as a tight end, and eventually compete for the roster
So-
spots as tight end.
Okay,
It's just
gotcha.
it's just a
Ro-
he's just a fun guy, man. You don't see this a lot. You don't see two-way players, and then it's not necessarily two-way because special teams only plays like maybe 15 snaps a game, but
Yeah.
still you don't see a lot of that. And last but not least,
Gotcha.
they drafted Jalen Twyman. He's a very quick twitch underside
Oh.
defensive tackle. He'll play the three technique. Um, Overall, I'm biased, so I'm gonna give the Vikings an A. Everybody I've seen grade the Vikings. I've never seen lower than a B plus. The Vikings had a lot of draft picks. Vikings are probably actually one of the best drafting teams in the NFL. They've actually had the most hits outside of the first round than any team in the NFL. Dude, this year's football season is going to be fun, man. That's all I got to say. It's going to be fun. I'm going to have enjoyment watching the Vikings play. I'm going to have enjoyment watching the Cleveland Browns play. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to enjoy watching the Arizona Cardinals play.
Yep.
I'm going to
Me
enjoy
too.
watching the Cowboys play. Like, I don't think there's going to be a bad year of football. And what
Nope.
I'm really excited, I'm actually going to watch some Washington football team because I am a huge Antonio Gibson fan. Between him and James Robinson are the only reasons I made it to the fantasy playoffs.
And I'll be watching the Washington football team too for at least 2 games.
Just because they're playing the Cowboys.
Yep.
What about you? Gonna keep up with your OU guys or not?
Um, depends. Yeah, yeah. Like I really root for the Browns and the Cardinals outside the Cowboys just because of they got the quarterbacks. Um, I think those are the only two teams that I really rooted for. Whenever the Cowboys were out of contention, I was really rooting for Tampa Bay because I think if at this point, if Tom Brady is going to have a chance to win, I just want him to win as much as he can because I'm like this dude is a legend, so just keep winning, you know. And plus, I think Bill Belichick is kind of like a stooge or
I
like
hate Bill
a
Belichick.
he.
So anytime he can get egg on his face if Tom Brady wins the Super Bowl, that's fine by me.
Yeah, yeah. And I just don't think that not that he's like a stooge, but it's just that I just don't like his the way his demeanor or whatever.
He's a prick,
Yeah, that's
straight
it.
up.
That's
I
it.
mean,
I don't.
he's
I just.
a. I could have used a more offensive term, but trying to keep it PG-13. I already dropped one cuss word today.
It's all right.
Um,
This is not a family friendly podcast. At
I
least
think it
I'm not.
is.
Well, this one was, but typically it's not on here. Like the episode,
Uh,
uploaded episode today. Let's take a listen to that one if you want with my friend Josh. It's pretty rated R.
so it's NSFW.
Yes, yes, yes. But this one's fine. You can listen to this in your car, at work, whatever. Except you gotta censor that one Marshall swear. But I actually said the F word too earlier, like
Oh,
before
did
you.
you? I didn't catch it.
Yeah, before you did, I said one. I don't remember what I was fired up about, but I did.
So man, I love the draft, but
Final
uh,
thoughts.
well, final thoughts is we're way over our allotted time that we gave ourselves.
Yeah, but it's fine.
Uh, um, as always, man, I enjoy. We definitely got to do some stuff like this again.
Yeah,
Uh,
we gotta do more of a because you know you're the anime guy too, so we gotta
oh
do
yeah, you
just a.
definitely do. Hit me up about that. I'm off on Sundays and Mondays, so I'm always down either of those days. Uh,
All
what I
right.
need you to do is I need you to get on that gaming PC and come play some Warzone with me.
Oh, you don't want that. I'm horrible.
It don't matter. I'll carry you. I
Yeah.
got broad
Okay.
shoulders.
Okay.
You can just jump on, be
Okay.
like backpack. I'll backpack you to a dub.
Hey. All right then. You'll need like a you'll need 2 backpacks. Let me tell you. I haven't played it since it first started. So
What have you been playing?
I play like adventure action games. Like I've been playing even though it came out a long time ago, I've been playing Sekiro, like Dark Souls stuff. Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. That's like a From Software game. I play like those kind of games, like where you're a guy that's swinging a sword or
Did you ever play
something.
Ninja Gaiden?
Depends on which one. I've played some of them.
The third one, the one that was considered impossible to beat.
No, I never played that one.
I quit playing games like that, including Dark Souls, after I
After
shattered a
that,
controller.
yeah, it's frustrating, but it's fun.
I
I like
literally
it.
like between my hands shattered it, and I like cut my hands all up, and I was like, nah, I'm just. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Dragon Age fan, but
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, dude, that thank you so much for wanting to collaborate with me again. I know all my friends enjoyed it the last time we did it. It's always
Heck yeah.
good to reconnect with some people from the hometown. Also, your 10-year reunions this year, is it not?
Yep, it is.
You going?
Well, if we make a plan, but I don't think no one we talked about it in a group chat for a little bit, but then it just kind of nothing really happened. So
Who's your student council president? Was it Meredith?
I don't know.
Probably Meredith. Wasn't
I don't
she in
know.
your grade?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that someone asked that question. I said I have the yearbook. I was going to look in the yearbook, but I haven't been to my grandma's house since we talked about it to look in the yearbook. So
Because ours is Cherokee Miller or Acker. Yeah. I'm sorry, Ty. Cherokee. Uh, but hopefully she doesn't see this.
yeah, I'm sure she's really interested in this, but
Oh, she may be. But no. Let me know if Drew decides to come down. I would like to. I would like to meet up with Drew. Shout out to Drew if you're listening to this. By the way, I would love to see Drew again.
all right, for sure. Yeah, he'll be someday. Whenever he does, I'll let you know for sure.
He's still in Florida, isn't he?
Yeah.
We should just take a drive to go surprise him one day.
Yeah, I've thought like I've had talks about trips with going down to Florida. So,
I mean, I want to do it during the winter time because it's too hot.
oh yeah, I went there in April 1 year for vacation, and it was way too hot. And they don't.
Humid as crap, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's so humid. Their house doesn't have air conditioning because it's Florida, and of course, a lot of houses don't have air conditioning because they just leave the windows all open, and they have their houses are super ventilated because it's right by the beach and everything. So it's hot and humid, but when it's at night, it's like they're just used to it. It's Florida. They have that
They're
tolerance built
crazy.
up.
They're crazy, is what they are. They're crazy.
Yeah. And it gets cooler at night, but it's still like super humid. And I hated it, but they were all fine because they've been living in it.
Yeah, he's been down there for what 4 or 5 years now.
Oh yeah, probably longer than that at this point. But yeah, man, good to talk to you, Marshall. Thanks for doing your draft stuff. I'm sure like all the people that's gonna watch this are gonna be like so stoked to have so much like I mean, there's a lot to dissect in there and a lot of points that you made and stuff. That's great. It's fun to talk about it. I could talk to myself about the Cowboys draft and just do a video like like a vlog, but I wanted to have someone to chat with about it. So
No, man, like I said, anytime, definitely hit me up next time you want to get the anime podcast going. But thanks for having me on, and I look forward to sharing this all over social media as soon as you let it hit the YouTube.
all right, man. Thanks you. I'll see you.
Later, dude.
All right.